My name's Liz and I'm starting a new adventure on buying and selling collectibles stuff, and I have no idea what I'm saying. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Hi, my name's Liz and I'm starting an adventure into buying and selling collectibles or stuff. Just stuff. Now, I'm great at buying. I love to buy. Not so great at selling. I have always preferred to give things away. So that's going to be a challenge for me. But, challenge is good, I think. So I'm going to try that. And I'm really lucky because I have an incredibly supportive family that's helping me to do the things that my brain goes, oh, that's a great idea. Let's follow that little path. And yeah, I'm very lucky. So why am I doing this? When I am more likely to give things away, have I decided that I am going to try and sell stuff? Well, there's a couple of reasons. I'm running out of money, and yes, my husband works, but I've also worked until about just over 12 months ago. And so I want to have pocket money. I want to be able to go and buy the things that I like and not have to worry that I am preventing us as a family from doing things because I've just gone and bought something that I like. I shouldn't and my husband pays for things, so please don't think that I am bagging him out in any way, because he willingly supports me. Because at this point in time, I'm not ready to go back into the workforce. Why? Well, it's a bit complicated. Probably quite straightforward, but in my head, it's a bit complicated. About 4 years ago, I was finally diagnosed as being bipolar, which came as no surprise to me or my daughter or probably my therapist. But the diagnosis was finally official. And it was good because it meant that they changed medication, and that was also good. It helped to even out some of my mood swings. But at the time they diagnosed me, I was quite depressed. And they made the decision at that stage that they were going to keep me on a very, very low level. They were not going to let me have highs. But the level that they kept me on was complete and utter sadness and depression for a very long time. And it's really hard not to feel happiness. It just compounds the depression and the anxiety when you are no longer feeling happiness. And then a whole heap of other things happened at the same time, to do with other people's health. And so I wasn't getting better, in my opinion. And it was great. I had my therapist, who was fantastic. Bridget, love you. I also had my psych nurse, who would come regularly and talk to me about some of the things I've done in my life that now make more sense with a bipolar perspective, viewed through a bipolar lens. And that was good. But like all things mental health, the funding got cut for that. So I no longer see the psych nurse, but I still saw my therapist. But I also felt that it was the responsible thing to do to inform the management where I worked that this was what was going on with me, this was my diagnosis, and that the fact that we had my father-in-law who had stage 4 cancer that was had metastasized into his bones, so he was not long for this world, and my mum's dementia was getting worse. So there were things that were outside impacting on me while I worked, as well as being bipolar and having to deal with new medications and all of those things. Unfortunately, I was not improving mentally. Mentally, I was not getting better. And I ended up feeling even more depressed. Now, when you get depressed and you have anxiety and all of these things are piling up, the paranoia kicks in beautifully, or mine does anyway. This is how I respond. I became far more paranoid. Everybody hated me. Oh, and I isolate too. When my mental health is not good, I isolate. When I'm a little bit more in a good frame of mind, or as Belinda would say, productive, or as other people would say, manic, I'm far more sociable and don't isolate as much. But when I'm very low, I isolate because it's very hard to get out of bed, very hard to function, very hard to get to work and actually do your job. But knew my job inside out, could do it, was quite happy. But I felt that my management was piling on, in a sense, making it harder for me to find the enjoyable parts to go to work, making it harder for me to do the job that I was perfectly capable of doing. And that made it worse. That actually made my condition worse and made me feel that everybody at work hated me, that I was hated, that nobody liked me. And when you work in an employment area where there's, up to about 600 kids, because I worked in a school, plus, a lot of staff, that's a lot of people that you think hate you. And that's a lot of people to deal with every day that you think hate you. And so you don't want to spend time with them either. And you isolate even more. And I'm not saying everybody there, I'm saying this is how I felt. I'm not saying that the people at work hated me, because they didn't. And I know that. And I know that I was loved deeply by many of the people that I worked with, and appreciated by students that I worked with as well, because I'm healthier than I was at that stage. So then last year hit, and I was still really down, really down. And we'd gone through some pretty hellish things happening. I'd taken some leave, came back from leave to find that my job had completely changed, and that I was now being put in a position that my mental health would not allow me to do. I had the support of my doctor to not do that part of my job. I had the support of my union not to do that part of my job. I did not have the support of my management not to do the part of that job. And it made me sicker. And this is coming out of the horrendous bushfires that we had that summer. Horrendous, when most of our country was on fire. So that's traumatizing. And then we go into a worldwide plague. And although nobody I know has had COVID or died from COVID, it was traumatizing on top of everything, and the anxiety that you build up. When you're depressed, when you're anxious, when your mental health is not good, all of these things combine. Combine that with a change of job, with a lack of support, and then my father-in-law died. Before he died, I moved in with him to give him 24/7 care. And that was not easy, but it needed to be done. He needed to be taken care of, and he passed away. So then it was helping to clear out his estate, which is a big job in the middle of lockdowns. So nothing's available. You can't have people over to help garage sale. You can't have things taken to an op shop. You couldn't do all of those things that you would normally do to clear out an estate. But no one in the family could take on the responsibility of the home and take care of it, so it needed to be sold. So we needed to empty it. To do that, so the boys were not feeling capable of doing that. They just lost their dad. They were not comfortable with doing that. So I took on that responsibility. And geez, I'm glad I did. I wish I had the time now, or that I had taken the time, having learnt a lot of things from YouTube and other people that I now know, and now that I'm in a much better mental place. But it is what it is, and that's okay. So we cleared out that house. At the same time, no, that was this year, so that's okay. So it all got too much. We came out of lockdown. 600 odd people were coming back into my workplace, and I felt uncomfortable and unsafe. So I asked if I could wear a mask. I was told no, that I would frighten the children, and that I couldn't catch it from kids anyway. That upset me. Things just got so bad that I could no longer face going to work, so I quit. And I am forever thankful that I did. I also got referred to from my therapist Bridget to another therapist who she felt would be able to deal with my current crises much better. And I also had a medication review. So my medication was changed. Oh my goodness, what a change that made. You have no idea. So if you are on medication and it is not working for you, get second opinions, get things reviewed. Do not let it keep going, because I was in a really bad place and I'm not anymore. And that has a lot to do with medication. It has a lot to do with the fact that I don't go to work, and it has a lot to do with the support that I have from my family and friends. So took time off. Great. I've been doing well. And then this year, I thought, yep, I had a deal with my husband that I would take 12 months to get back on my feet, and then I would start looking around for other employment. Then my mum had a stroke and needed to go into a home. She's great. She is fantastic. Her dementary's worse. And, you know, that's sad. But again, it is what it is. And you can't stop loving somebody because they're just amazing. She is the most cheerful old lady. And I love her dearly. But when it comes to lockdowns, we can't go and see her. And we're in another lockdown. This is number 6, statewide lockdown. And I'm all for lockdowns, believe me. I'd rather have the lockdowns than a gazillion cases and an incredible amount of deaths. But cannot go into the nursing home while there's lockdown. And I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to put people who are highly susceptible at risk. So I can't see my mum at the moment. And she can't use technology. And she doesn't really have the capacity for writing letters anymore. She can't use a telephone. So it's quite one-sided, the communication, unless you're in person with her. And even then it's fairly one-sided. So that happened. And then at the same time, a few other members of my mum's side of the family, who are all 80 and above, had some other issues. So another uncle one uncle passed away, and that was very sad. Leaving my aunt and her nephew, my aunt and her son, my cousin, pretty devastated. At the same time that happened, this is all happening at the same time this year. At the same time that happened, my uncle in another state had to go into care. He has no children, no partner, and only another older relative living in the same state. Not even in the same town, in the same state. So I decided, I am really strong at the moment. I am confident. I am great. I can do this. Hopped on a plane, went to Queensland to help my aunt who came down, help sort out things in the house. So I stayed there for about a month, visiting my uncle in the aged care, and that was really hard because he just wanted to go home. He thinks that he's there for physical reasons because he had a fall, and he's not aware that he's there because he's no longer capable of taking care of himself. So that's really difficult. And then helping to sort out all this stuff because he had a lot of stuff. And it was when I was up there that I realised I'm not doing as well as I thought I was. When the woman in Bunnings up there refused to give me boxes to help pack some of his things. Never had a problem with the Bunnings in Victoria. But no, she wasn't budging on that. Mind you, I'd been in a couple of days earlier and a guy had let me take some boxes. She wasn't, and I went out in the car and cried. I realised I'm not healthy. I am so mentally not healthy. Nor am I ready to put myself out there and attempt to join the 9-to-5 grind, to confidently walk into a workplace and say, yes, I can do this job and I'm not going to have a breakdown. And I am not going to go home and cry. And I can be polite to customers. And I can any of those other things. I don't know if I could. So I had to come up with another solution, something that I thought that I might be able to do. Now, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, Netflix, YouTube, love it all. And what can you do when you're in lockdown, middle of winter, and it's freaking wet? It is so wet and cold here. And it's the wettest winter we've had in a very long time. And I'm working on building studios in the backyard for my daughter and myself to clear out some stuff in the house. And hers is to be her art studio so that the room that we're in can turn into I just saw a bird sitting up on the downpipe out there. It's very cute. I get distracted easily. So that this room that I'm in currently can be turned into her sewing room. But this is one of the few clean rooms in my house that I'm actually able to sit in and make a video at the moment. So the people on YouTube that I have been watching and been interested in have made me feel like I can take on this challenge of potentially buying and selling stuff and making that pocket money that I mentioned ages ago at the start. So I have to learn a lot. Am I going to succeed? I don't know. Am I going to make mistakes? More than likely. Probably a lot of them. But I'm going to try. I'm really going to try and do this. So, to start with, well, the fact that the fact that I live in Australia means that I can't really look at massively heavy items, like things that I like, which are pottery and big artworks and things like that, because the shipping on those would be horrendous, especially if I wanted to ship outside of Australia. That would be really hard. So, as Dr. Laurie, the PhD antique appraiser, says, there are 3 things that retain value and go up in value. They are furniture, which I have no space for furniture. I can't sell it, I can't ship it, don't know anything about furniture. It's not going to happen. Art, well, I already collect art. We buy art from people, artists, for ourselves, for our enjoyment and pleasure, and that may be something I look at in the future for other people, like buying it to trade onwards. If I can find it at reasonable prices, that might be something I do. But the last one that she talks about is jewelry. Jewelry has lots of benefits because, as she says, it's easy to store, easy to ship. So I think to start with, a lot of my focus will be on jewelry. Now, I would like it to be antique vintage jewelry, but that's not always going to be the case. I'm likely to sell new stuff that I'm able to get cheap and sell on to make some sort of a profit. I'm not planning on becoming a millionaire. I am not trying to be the next big thing. I don't need that kind of thing. I just want to be able to have the money to go and buy another piece of art, to be able to take us out for dinner, to go when we're not in lockdown and stay in a nice hotel and go to art galleries or, something. To be able to catch a flight and go and visit my family that lives interstate without it being a burden on anybody to do that. That's what I'm hoping to do. So yes, my focus will be on jewellery. And at the moment, I don't know if you can see these. I don't know if they're, oh, there you go. I have my bipolar and badass earrings on. These earrings, and I'll put all of the details of the people that I refer to or anything down in the description below. So these I purchased from an artist who also has bipolar. So she's a bit more on an excited level. I'm more on a depressed level. So it's lovely and fun talking to her. And I got these from a place called Fear, the Female Experience Art Rebellion. And I love it. Just love it. It's an artist collective studio and gallery. And I'll put all of the details in the link below, the description below. So if you want a pair of her fantastic bipolar and badass earrings, let's do some bipolar pride, contact her. Get her to send them. Don't make them yourself. That's really sucky to take somebody's idea and make it into your own. Go and get yours from the actual artist that made them in the first place. I'll give you those details. I also wanted to do a shout out to some of the people who have influenced me to take on this journey. They don't know they've influenced me, so it will come as a surprise. Before I watched other people, I did a lot of watching of Dr. Laurie. Now I know people find her abrasive. I don't. I think she has knowledge. I'm prepared to gain that knowledge from her, and I just think she wants to be as efficient as possible. So if you can if you can overlook some of those things that people find abrasive, then she is a fantastic resource. And I'll put her details below. I then got on to the crazy lamp lady, Jocelyn. What I like about Jocelyn is that she takes me thrifting with her. And I can see what she's picking up, what she's purchasing it at, eventually what she sells things for. And I'm getting a better idea of some of the stuff. Now, some of the stuff I don't like. I don't like fancy floral bits that might break off sort of stuff. That's not me. But is it collectible? Is it something that somebody else might like? Probably. Again, at the moment, not within my shipping budget. But I'm learning a lot from the videos she posts. So I would recommend that you go and see her. She's lovely. Absolutely lovely. I've also learned a lot from the Funky Pickle Thrifter. So Sandra, oh my God, sorry, that's not about Sandra. That's about the fact that I can see the most gorgeous little blue willy wagtail out in a bush, and I am so hoping that that little willy wagtail is going to make a nest out there. Maybe it's a fairy wren. I don't know, but it's got the most beautiful blue colour. So he's a boy. The girls are brown. You know, because boys have to show off. Peacocking is called, I think. But yeah, beautiful. Sorry, told you, I get distracted easily. Back to the funky pickle thrifter, Sandra. So I have learnt a lot from her. She posts a lot about the jewellery that she finds and actually gives a lot of really lovely information about it. And explains where she's finding the marks. She's not just showing me something and going, oh, well, that's it. That's the next one. That's the next one. She actually shows and explains where she got it from, what she did, why, looks up things. Really find her really interesting, and she does it in a slow, measured way that this brain takes it in. So really happy with watching her videos. Just love them. But the person I've learnt the most from, the person that I want to give the biggest shout out to, is Janet from Antiques from Karen. Now, Janet's journey has touched a lot of people. I'm just one of many. Janet inherited a hoarder house from her mum and has been spending years cleaning it out and has started a YouTube channel to help her deal with the process so that she doesn't feel so alone while she's cleaning things out. And that's been successful for her because she has built the most wonderful community around her that are helping her with that process. And I love it. And she's enthusiastic and excitable and positive. And she has the most wonderful relationship with her partner, Babes. The love just emanates off the screen from those two. But the thing that I love the most, the thing that deeply, deeply connected with me, was the repair of the relationship with her mum. The love, the respect, and the incredible deepening of her relationship with her mum has been amazing. And it shows that you can change the relationship you have with somebody even after they're gone. And the reason that connects with me is because I felt that when I cleaned out my in-laws' house. Because most people that know me know that my relationship with my in-laws was quite tempestuous. Get your words out, Liz. It was quite tempestuous. And it was not necessarily good. A lot of the feelings were quite negative. And clearing out their house, spending time with their things, with notes and letters that they had written to each other, really gave me a different perspective on them as people rather than as my in-laws, and allowed a lot of that negative emotion that I had carried with me to just drop off, and allowed me to acknowledge that I played an equal part in the deterioration of that relationship and I think that helps to heal. Well, it certainly has helped me. So, Janet, you have no idea how badly or how greatly you have touched the people who watch your channel, and I appreciate you very much for what you have done and how it makes me feel when I watch you. And look, tears are starting, and I'm not going to do that. So, blink, 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 blink. Do the. I've never understood that. Just makes me want to cry more. But yeah. So thanks. So thanks to those people, and there will be many more. I'm sure of it. So that's the influences, the why am I doing this, the who am I, what I'm going to be focusing on. So how this will work, I think, is that I'm going to try and take you shopping with me to places like op shops when I'm allowed. And I have tried to do it, but I'm not very good at it. I kind of take photos of my feet and yeah, but I'll keep practicing and hopefully I will get better at that. And I'll take you shopping with me and show you what I find and what I don't find. I plan to show you what I get in my hauls. I may eventually do live sales. I'm not sure. That would depend on whether people were interested in that. You know, I plan on selling things through eBay and Facebook Marketplace and YouTube, if potentially Instagram. I don't know. I'm going to try and get all of those accounty things connected, meld them together, so you know what's going on. I also want to do the occasional miscellaneous thing. So I plan on making a post about the logo. I want to make posts about the artwork that I have in my own home, things that we've collected, the artists who've created those artworks, because I love them and I want people to love them and potentially be interested in getting things from those artists. Who knows? I'm all for support. I'm all for supporting others. So that's it. That's me. I've got to learn how to edit. This may go out with no editing because I don't know how to do it. But I've got to learn. So these are all the things that I'm going to learn. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I really do hope that you want to come and join me on my adventure, and that I do succeed, and that it's healing for me, and that it helps me to move forward in my healing, and sometimes you're going to just get the bipolar rant. You'll get the sadness, you'll get the happy, you'll get the over happy, the over shopped, spent, bad person. You'll get the incredibly depressed, I can't get out of bed person. You'll get the lot. And is that frightening for me? Yes, it is. But I'm sick to death of mental health being swept under the carpet and not being acknowledged as being an important thing that people need to understand and respect, and that governments need to throw money at it hugely, because it's just hell not being normal, neuronormal. So I think that's it for me today. I hope that you subscribe. I hope you hit the like button. I think that's over there somewhere. The subscribe button's over there. If you click on that and then click the little bell, it'll tell you when I update, and so you'll know if I've got anything out there that you can watch. And I look forward to seeing you. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Give me suggestions. Don't be mean. Mean's not necessary. Okay, take care. Bye. It's a little bit after when I did the first part of this video, hence the change of clothing, and it's spooky season. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an extra shout out to Farm Girl Scavenger, Noelle. I've also been watching a lot of her YouTube videos, and she has amazing knowledge and helps you to work out all sorts of things that you might not have thought about that you could sell on eBay. And so I think she's an incredible knowledgeable source and has so much information. So yep, check her out as well. And I'm also going to be on this channel featuring some creepy dolls that I've started making as well. And I blame Janet and Julie Smurf for that, for when they had a bit of a massive destroying doll day. And I went, something clicked in here and went, we're going to make some creepy dolls. And that's what I've been doing. So I'll be showing my creepy dolls on this channel as well. All right, now I'm definitely going to go so that I can finish editing and post this. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to. All right, I'll catch you all later. Bye.